Oh, hey, you're up. Oh, hey, you're up.
Hit that flying pajama or what?
Oh, hey, you're up.
You're
Oh,
gonna
hey,
die.
you're up.
Again
Hit that flying pajama or
again.
what?
Oh, hey,
and
you're
again.
up. Oh, hey, you're up.
Hit that flying pajama or what?
Oh, hey, you're up. Oh, hey, you're up.
Who's Bill Murray?
Oh, hey, you're up. I'm not sure if you remember my name or not. You were pretty wasted last night. I'm Bubbawheat, and you're listening to my podcast, It's Time to Rewind, where we are in the death days of autumn, covering the Happy Death Day movies one loop at a time. Today, we're discussing the 11th loop in the first Happy Death Day movie. It starts at 81 minutes and 13 seconds, with Tree waking up upset about how she killed him, and ends at 89 minutes and 2 seconds, with Carter befuddled that Tree has never seen Groundhog Day and doesn't even know who Bill Murray is. And joining me today is Jay Cluitt from Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you, Bubba. Thank you for having me. Thrilled to be here to talk about another time loop.
Yeah, this is it's already been a fun season, and I've it's weird because we're almost at the end of this movie, but that's technically the middle of this season.
Yeah, sure. Got a whole other film
Uh,
to talk about.
yeah, and but before we jump into this today's loop, when did you first discover this movie?
I didn't see it in the cinema. I think I first saw it when it would have hit streaming sometime. So late 2017, 2018, whatever that would have been. I was excited about it because I like a slasher film. I like a time loop film. So I like that kind of this seemed perfect. But I was disappointed first time around. Oh, I was frustrated first time around, and it was actually this chapter was at this point in the film that I became really frustrated because when it comes to time loops, I love one of the things I really enjoy about them is that build up to the perfect day, like that
Mhm.
the learning of the things, the applying the knowledge, and when I was on your season for Groundhog Day, I had that perfect day, and that's one of my favorite sequences of the film. Still one of your longest episodes, I think. Point of pride. Um, uh, and in Happy Death Day, you've just had the perfect day, and now it's just been wiped out. It's all gone. Everything that she built up to, all those beautiful moments, like the resolution with her dad, like telling her ex-boyfriend to come out of the closet, and he's happy and moved on with his life. Everything, all those resolutions that just make you feel like, oh, good and glad and more warm inside, gone. They don't exist anymore. They have been purged from existence, and that when I mean, it's a horror film, so it's not going to be a nice happy ending for everyone. I get it, but it's still watching it that first time, just a little knot inside myself, like, oh, God, it's gone. I was so happy for everyone involved, and then it's gone. And which I get, yes, it's a kick in the face. It's what you're supposed to get at this point. And then the actual resolution that we get in this chapter did never really sat well with me. So I've watched it again for the second time for this. I'll be honest, when you first announced you're doing this season, I was like, great, this film was on Netflix. I will watch this soon. And then next time I checked, Netflix, it was leaving Netflix in a couple of days. And the only time I had to watch this was on my phone on a train. So I didn't, maybe it wasn't the best experience to watch this and its sequel in concurrent train journeys. Um, but there we are. It was all I could do. But I knowing that upcoming disappointment and dissatisfaction, I did appreciate this more the second time around. Because I knew where it was going. I knew what to appreciate more, what to, sit with and enjoy. And so I did enjoy it more. I think I gave it 2.5 on Letterboxd the first time I watched it, and I've now bumped it up to a 3.5, somewhere in there. Because this is a horror comedy as a genre.
Mhm.
I don't think there's enough of either to satisfy me as for being that. The horror isn't horror enough. There's some good comedy, but there's not enough. When I think of like horror comedies, I think of Cabin in the Woods. I think of Shaun of the Dead. Two are like 5-star masterpieces. It's unfair to compare every film to that kind of thing. But there's just not enough comedy, not enough horror for this to be a classic. But as a horror comedy with time loops, it works well enough. I'm happy with all the performances. Just watching the loop we're going to talk about today for a few times, there's a lot to appreciate. I really enjoy the character of what's is it Danielle, who's
Yeah, Danielle.
the head of the sorority, just just an awful person. And I enjoy awful people in films, just watching them. They never she doesn't quite get her comeuppance in this film, but she does eventually. It's a long game. If that's where the proposed part three involves is her being stuck in a loop, then great. I'm here for it. Perfect film. Cannot wait for that.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into this loop where, like you mentioned, this is, it's almost like another fake out. I feel like this film is filled with so many fake outs, and this is the like kind of the not even the final fake out because we get it one more next next time
Because Carter's a bit of a dick, it turns out.
around. But this is like the first fake out because, like you mentioned, we just had the perfect loop where Tree did everything right and accomplished everything that she wanted to, became a better person, and then, like you said, it's all wiped out, and she is appropriately freaking out. And one thing that I have mentioned, it's possible that you listened for this because you have been listening to the episodes that have been released already. But did you catch the trombone playing at the beginning?
Did. Yeah, and I think, well, I didn't catch it the first time the second time I watched this film, but in preparation for today, I did hear the trombone because I've now seen Happy Death Day to You again, where the trombone is more prominent in like Ryan's introduction. So like, yeah, I heard the trombone and the guy yelling "shut up," but I'd never noticed that before. So is that in all the previous loops? Is that in
And
the
not
mix?
most of them, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely in the
Okay,
first, second, and I think I missed listening to it in the either the third or the fourth, but I noticed it again like after the montage. Like it's not in the montage because you have the music playing.
sure.
Uh, but yeah, it is in pretty much every other loop. And I and you mentioned the second one because I haven't watched the second one since the first time I watched it. So I only kind of discovered the trombone playing, so I didn't realize that it's
Oh,
is
yeah.
brought up
You
again in the
you
second movie.
you see the trombonist. You see that altercation happen. But you mentioned the music playing on her phone. I'm glad. I know that you've already kind of theorized about this in previous chapters, but I'm glad that you did then. I just want to add my weight to that as to she Tree would not have done that as her own ringtone. That's not. I agree. She would not set her own happy birthday ringtone when she's not looking forward to her birthday. I know people who hate celebrating their birthday. They would not do that. So I feel like it was either she did it when she was drunk, kind of like, or somebody else did it when she was drunk. It's like a prank someone in this
Hmm.
like Danielle played. Like, hey, Tree's gonna hate this. She's just been making out with my fella, so I'm gonna set her ringtone to be happy birthday. That'll ruin her life. But I feel like that would imply Danielle knows anything about anyone's internal lives, and I don't think Danielle does. She's very much this is Danielle's world. You may live in it if you want to, but I don't care. Uh, yeah.
Or it could be something set up by Lori as well, just to further
True.
mess with her.
Yes, Laurie, who becomes just the utter psychopath in this
Mhm.
chapter. Uh,
That
Whoa.
completely comes out of nowhere.
But just yeah, Tree goes to her room, starts. She's frantic, she's panicking, she's the most stressed anyone's ever been, and Laurie, already planning to give her a poison cupcake, goes like, she's my roommate is freaking out. Perfect opportunity to try and kill her. Not like it's just a complete sociopathic tendency that is Laurie in this chapter. Like, I know what I'll do
Yeah.
now. I'll give her poison.
Yeah, but just jumping back a little bit, one thing that I did want to mention, we kind of go through the Carter's room sequence pretty quickly, but I do like I think it's funny that Carter does again say "nice one, dickhead," or in all the previous loops he's referring to Ryan because he says it after Ryan comes in saying, "Did you hit that fine vagina last night?"
Yep,
And
sure does.
we completely miss Ryan this time, but he still says it, but this time he's referring to himself rather than Ryan.
Is the lighting in Carter's room darker this time round than previous chapters? Because it looks, because it's in Tree's mind, it's a darker chapter for her, but it looks like it's lit like cinematographically darker than previous chapters. I haven't got them up to call because it's not on Netflix anymore. I can't compare it. But I don't know if you've picked up on that as it being, is it looking different
No,
this
I think
time
it
around?
always looks because I'm flipping through them I have them all on my computer. I think they look all about the same.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but then
I'll allow it.
we do get Tree freaking out, and I do love Jessica Ross' performance in this
Hmm.
of just her completely, you know, she's it's like comparing this to Groundhog Day. This is like the moment whenever Bill Murray is trying to escape um, Punxsutawney.
Yes, sure. Like freezing in the snow. One of
Yeah,
those.
so she thinks,
Yeah.
well, if I can't get out of the loop by winning, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think she does a great as an act. Jessica Roth never really. I don't know her from anything else. I was
Mhm.
looking
Yeah,
at
she
her
hasn't had a
CV,
ton of other big roles, and I believe that these two movies are pretty much her only leading roles.
which I think is a shame. 'Cause I think she does an excellent job here. It's an
Mhm.
unusual lead character. It's rare that you see this like a kind of negative female lead in a film, which is a shame. But I think she does an excellent job with it. I think she's very good throughout. She plays all like this is a more nuanced performance than Bill Murray does in Groundhog Day because he's famous for
Mhm.
saying, "Do you want like good Phil or bad Phil in this take?" And that's clearly not what she has done here. She's really playing the full spectrum
Yeah,
across the scenes, and an excellent job here.
yeah, and I do think that it's funny where, like you mentioned, Lori, her roommate is freaking out. Lori wants to kill her, and but if on the first time through, it definitely seems out of place. As an audience, you're probably thinking, read the room, Lori. This
Yeah,
is not
absolutely.
this is not the time to give her a birthday cupcake. And
But
even afterwards,
even knowing that she is, it still is awful. Like it seems the tree is in such a bad way. She's leaving, so
yeah,
just
it's like
let her
just
go.
let her go. Exactly.
Problem is solving itself. But yeah,
And then
but if she didn't give her the cupcake, what would have happened if like this state? Do you reckon Tree could have convinced Laurie not to kill her? Would that have stopped the loop?
That's tough to say because I mean, in the sequel, they do kind of over-explain things, but also under-explain them because they explain about how this experiment is ultimately causing the time loop, but they don't explain why it's tied to Tree's death.
Yes. Yeah, that is also frustrating. I would have liked a little more explanation, even in this film. I get it. You don't always need it. With always go back to Groundhog Day. With Groundhog Day, it's what was it that caused that loop to end? We hypothesized about it a few years ago, I think. Was it just the perfect day, or was it just no, I don't know. Who knows? But here it does seem to be. Oh, Tree didn't die, therefore she doesn't end, doesn't loop back. But why the second film? Yeah, I watched that one again as well for this, and too much explanation. Not, I agree, not enough, and both too much at the same time. Uh, hmm. I don't have an answer for you. I've got nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious to get into it because I like a lot of what the second film does, but a lot of people don't. So
I
I
kind
kind
of
of
prefer it. I have more fun with it because it's not trying to be horror. It's just trying to be kind of sci-fi comedy almost.
mm,
Although it is a in the UK it's rated a 15, whereas this is a 12, I think.
mm.
Um, so there is more horror to it somehow. I'm not sure why. I couldn't. I was trying to pick up on it when I watched it. Like, is there more blood? Is there more like stabbing? But it just seemed a comparable amount. Um, I would like to for any future episodes, if Tree ever bleeds, it's not blood, it's sap. That's what I think it should be. That's my contribution to your podcast. Um, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with the second one as well. Although there is the montage in the middle, uh, similar to this one, where she kind of kills herself a bunch of times, knowing that she's going to have to experience it and will wake up with some kind of effect the next day. And in one of them, she drinks bleach. And I feel like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? Like,
Yeah,
I've done that.
I I like the mirroring aspect, but I some people might think that it's a little bit much, but again, we'll see. As I will dive into it here in just a few more episodes.
Yes, sure.
But I do love the look of realization on Tree's face whenever has the moment where she says, "I already ate it last night," and then we go into Agatha Christie mode with
Hmm.
Tree
And
giving the the explanation.
massive leap in logic for both her and well, the leap in logic for Laurie later as well. But yeah, that realization that I ate it last night. I died in my sleep. I ate the cupcake before I went to sleep. The cupcake must be poisoned. You poisoned me. There's no other. I get it. She's in a frazzled state of mind. It would be a conclusion to leap to. It's unlikely to be the real one. So the fact that this is the actual conclusion is incredible. Um,
Well, I mean, the
but
other option would be if that wasn't the case, and then Lori just said, "Oh, why it's not poison? Why would it be poison?" And then she ate the cupcake, took a bite of the
yeah,
cupcake just right away.
yeah. Laurie should have. Is it all? Do you reckon the frosting is poison and the cake? Is it all poison? You gotta assume probably just the cake. So Laurie could have just had a bite of the frosting or a little bit of the sponge, pretend to swallow it. I always end up doing this. I always end up like, this is what the killer should have done. This is how the bad person should have. That's not the takeaway here. Uh, but yeah,
But
Laurie. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
so do you think, we get these kind of flashback images? Do you think that these are like as the film intends, do you think that these are what actually happened, or do you think this is just what Tree is imagining happening?
So the flashback of Laurie enacting her plan, because there's also the flashback of
Mhm.
her not eating the cupcake, which is what I thought you meant initially. She drops it on the floor. Well, that's a memory. She did that. I think this is got to be Tree imagining what Laurie did, because we Tree didn't see it. We're
Mhm.
seeing things from Tree's perspective. And in her mind, Laurie must be sick and twisted enough to kiss a big mask before before sending the killer on their way. And she's piecing together it's odd because she saw the knife before she was stabbed with it. So yeah, so she's familiar with certain aspects of these flashbacks. Uh,
I also don't
yeah.
entirely understand the how Tree says, "What did you drug him?" Like I don't understand what that would accomplish.
Yeah. Was there any of the of her interaction of Tree's interactions with the killer with what's his name Toombs um
Tombs.
where he seemed drugged out of it at all? I don't
Well, I
remember.
don't think maybe she doesn't mean, like drugged as most of us think of someone being drugged as in like being roofied, being out of it, but kind of the opposite where she drugged him in order to wake him up.
Oh, sure, he was already sedated, and the drug was to like unsedate him.
Yeah,
She gave him
like
an upper
gave
or
him a
something.
shot of an adrenaline or
Yes,
an
yeah,
upper.
yeah. Don't do that, listeners. Don't give your sedated serial killers adrenaline. Bad things will happen. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I
I
do
think I
like
think that's it.
kind of like
And
the imagined baby face mask kiss, which is just so bizarre.
yeah, because she put so in the vision, Laurie puts the mask on the killer on Toombs and then kisses him and then walks away. So in that reality, Toombs would wake up with a mask on and just kind of think, sure, and just go carry on with the mask on, and like, not remove this cumbersome, vision limiting, breathing limiting gear stuck on his face to go on a murderous rampage of the lady who comes and wakes him up.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then we also get the flashbacks slash kind of imagined ending of going back all the way to the first loop. Because I do like that how it's framed. Again, we get the camera up above of Tree looking straight up, which was how she died in the first loop, and then we get the extra reveal with Lori taking off the mask.
yeah, that works well. which that could, I mean, that's true using her imagination because she remembers that killer. You think, ah, it could have been you. You stabbed me, and then yeah, I can see that playing out that way. So yeah, this is all Tree's imagination.
Yeah, and then I also love I think this this movie is filled with like underrated actors because Ruby Modine playing Lori, I think she like her reaction on this as she's being accused of being the killer, just this like uh, look of shock and like confusion, but also a mask. Like it's seeing it the second time, you can also tell that there's like she's kind of masking as well, where she's trying to pretend that she's there's like this extra level of pretending to be confused and shocked.
It's a truly impossible thing to play. Like to
Mhm.
try and like, work out. Like, okay, so what's my character? My character is someone who is trying to kill this person, and this person has realized that I'm killing her because I've succeeded before. It's not. There's no kind of parallel to real life that you can apply to. Oh yeah, I remember. I was in this situation. I'll just use what. No, it's so many things going on Ruby Modine's face, and it's a very good performance. It's yeah, it works. First time when you're watching it, you're kind of thinking, well, this is she might not have done it. It's not obvious that she's not immediately like breaking into big grin and going, ah, you're seeing my evil plan. Is
Mhm.
it's played very well.
Yeah, and then here she goes, full on villain where after Tree says, no, but you already killed me, and then she goes right into, then I guess I'll have to kill you again.
She's taking it very well. And like a great line to come back with when it should be like, "What are you talking about? How? No, step explain. Not just aha, come back. Repartee. Let's go."
Yeah, and then we get, a little bit of a fight, and
I'm
I
sorry,
we get
we missed the reason why. That it's all
well,
about
it's right
Gregory.
here. Yeah, like
Like you, I love the delivery. You've been killing me over some stupid guy.
mhm.
Some stupid guy is great delivery. Yeah, it's
She throws where Lori throws Tree down, and then she starts monologuing and explaining where, yeah, it's because he keeps choosing you, and then Tree realizes that it's Gregory because based
stupid
on based on
guy.
Tree, like, but before she realized that it could have been anyone because Tree is portrayed as kind of a slut in this movie pre time loop.
She's enjoying her higher education years. Uh, you know, good for her. But yeah, it's I think I'm disappointed that that's the motive as well. It's
Mhm.
just a guy. It's just your friends and you're fighting over some stupid guy. So I'm as disappointed as Tree is in this instance. This does feel like the kind of plot where if these two had had a conversation and just like they and Laura, maybe not day one Tree, maybe like day 6 to 10 Tree, they had this conversation of like Laurie said that she really liked Gregory, and she was like, "That idiot, that have at it, yours." Moving on. I think it could have saved a lot of murder, a lot of repeated murder. So if Laurie was successful in this loop with Moan Tree and Tree woke up again, I feel like the next day Tree would be like, go to Laurie and say, Laurie, I've broken up with Gregory. And just, he's coming out of my life and just like, she's yours now. He actually said he really likes you. So he likes your smile. You know, we'll make up, we'll wear Crocs now and then. That kind of thing. Talk to your friends is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and then we get the kind of the rest of the fight, and I had forgotten about this moment back whenever I recorded episode 2 because we do have the basically kind of the repeat of the same move that the killer used back in Loop 2 and the when she was in Nick's bedroom, aka the Pleasure Dome, with and this
Oh,
time
Nick.
it's Lori being on top of Tree. And back whenever I recorded episode 2, I thought that I wasn't sure that Lori would have been able to overpower her the same way that a guy would have, but clearly I was wrong because Lori without
She does it
the
again.
hoodie, she does it again. And we get the same similar interruption, only this time it's Danielle instead of some random frat guy. And
I hate that random frat guy. I just everything that's wrong with the world is that random frat guy. But yeah, anyway, you've covered that.
but I do love, we get a bit more Danielle this loop, and Danielle being very Danielle here, and it
Yep,
just kind of
best.
giving Tree the opportunity. Oh, and I did skip. I did love, Tree is a fighter. Like she's very much a final girl. She has final girl energy in this entire movie, and earlier on she gets a good kick to the crotch in order to kind of gets back to an even playing field. And then in this
Throat
one,
punch.
yes, the throat punch.
But yeah, she's planning it because prior to the throat punch, you see her reaching for the cupcake. So she's got the whole plan of throat punch, mouth will open, in goes the cupcake. So she's she's mid fight, but she's got a strategy to go with, and it works.
Mhm.
It's throat punch, cupcake, the swing on the lights, defenestration, splat. It's a good like we cover a lot of Rennie Harlin films on Deep Blue Sea the podcast, and like he tends to do a lot of like protracted death sequences. Um, you haven't seen it, but Stellan Skarsgård's protracted death sequence in Deep Blue Sea takes 4 chapters for him to die. Between him starting to being killed and when he actually dies, it's a long time. And actually, at that scene, in the scene, he's not dead yet, but they leave him. So he's dead. We come back, he's dead. Uh, and so this is like a Rennie Harlin-esque multiple stage of death sequence, and that always entertains me.
Yeah, and I like that going back to the fact that we have that the cupcake is red velvet. And so that whenever it gets shoved in Lori's face and she's desperately trying to scoop it out of her mouth, she has, the red all over her mouth. So it looks bloody, even though it's just the red velvet cupcake.
And it matches her scrubs as well.
Mhm.
It's all the clues were there the whole time. She wears red velvet scrubs. If they were made of velvet, that would have been incredible. But they're not because that's a bad material to make scrubs out of.
Yeah, and then
But
we
it's
get the zoom in on the chandelier, and the tree goes into action hero mode again.
yeah, strong. It's a strong light fitting. They're not all supportive. Speaking from experience, they will not all hold a person's weight. Uh, if you try and swing from one, it doesn't always work, and is expensive to repair. Yeah, but it's a good defenestration. Love a defenestration,
Mhm.
especially now I know the word defenestration. It's a good word.
Yeah, and I think it's a good PG-13. I've been talking about this movie's use of the PG-13 quite a bit, and this is another, I think, good use of it because Lori falls out, and we get another shot of the headphones girl,
Hmm.
and she falls off screen, and then we just get the the splash of blood that pops up into screen, and then we get the uh you know cutaway, and then it's just Lori laying there with the pool of blood under her head. So it's a very
Yeah,
PG-13 death.
it's a good splat noise as well as they go. I love a good splat noise, and this is a good one.
Yeah, and then tree collapses like in front of the door frame after the fight. And again, we get another just little bit of Danielle knocking on the door and say, "What are you losers doing in there?" And it's a great line where Tree just says, "Lori ate my cupcake."
Yep. I feel like Rachel Matthews plays Danielle should be in more stuff as well. Again, I mean I've seen Do Revenge. I don't remember her being in Do Revenge. There's a lot of people in that film.
Yeah, and then we cut to
Yeah.
cut uh, right to Danielle being interviewed, still wearing the same like sports bra top, and we have Becky and Headphones Girl, and then a third sorority member in the background, and it's we just get more great Danielle in this, where she says, Yeah, how Lori never wore makeup, never posted cute selfies, and literally owned a pair of Crocs. Typical psychopathic behavior.
Do we think Laurie posted other selfies, or is just not is Danielle's problem that she posted selfies and they weren't cute, or she didn't post selfies at all?
Probably a mix of both. Like she probably
Yeah.
rarely posted selfies, and when she did, they were not cute.
She was like, I traveled to here and took a pic and I climbed a mountain, took pictures of a mountain, not like I'm at a club, duck face kind of thing. Yeah, I love Danielle, just incredible, awful character. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
done
then we
so well
get
because it's a believable performance. You know people
yeah,
like that. You've met people. It's not going too
absolutely.
far. It seems like it's going too far, but it's not going too far.
Yeah, and then we get this nice moment of Tree and Carter, and again, the movie kind of skips over a lot of exposition, where you can assume that the Tree had basically explained to Carter about the time loop before this, and
Now, Danielle does bring up a good point, actually. She says, we're Kappas, we don't eat cupcakes. That is a good point. This was a bad plan. So we see
Mhm,
in the first loop, Danielle publicly admonishing, was it Becky for having a large calorific lunch,
mhm.
which actually looked kind of nice. Uh, I'm not a healthy person, so that's fine. Um, so yeah, a cupcake, even on a birthday. It took Tree 10 days and a successful uh, murder or a murder thwarting to even try the cupcake. This was a bad
Mhm.
plan from Laurie. I don't
Yeah,
know
I think even on
what
the
she should have
first,
poisoned.
I think all the way back on the first loop, she says that, I don't eat carbs before she
Yeah,
throws it in the trash.
she should have poisoned. She's got a massive drink in one of the loops. I think she should have poisoned her Starbucks order or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's bad plan. Deserved to not
And
make it through.
and uh, even though the dad didn't get the reconciliation from the last loop, it is nice that we do get the repeat of her dad, and we get Tree kind of actually answering her dad's call, because a lot of the previous loops she always ignored his call, and even though she ignored his first call and first thing in the morning, I think that's reasonable given what she went through and what she's
Sure.
realizing.
Yeah. So do you think next year she's gonna celebrate her birthday? Or because like she doesn't seem into it, but now she has like it's the day like maybe the Carter forget the events of the second film, whatever's gonna happen there. Like if she and Carter
Well, and
become a
that
successful
technically
relationship,
happens on the 19th. So,
that's true. That yes. They met the day before. Uh, um, but then Tree doesn't remember him until her actual birthday. So that could be like the anniversary of their first date, kind of if this coffee shop is their first date. So that feels like maybe they'll celebrate that instead of her birthday because that still has the traumatic connotations of being her mother's birthday as well. I
mhm.
don't know. I just extrapolating. Um, I'm sure this is on your list of things to talk about, but she's never heard of Bill Murray. Do you think that's likely? Because I made a list of the Bill Murray films I think she should have seen by now. And I feel like top of them would be I feel like Tree would have seen Charlie's Angels. I feel like she might not know who Bill Murray is, but if somebody said he played Bosley in the first Charlie's Angels film, I think she'd be like, "Oh, okay," and would recognize him from that, perhaps. But
Well, let's
I don't think she's seen Space Jam. I don't
so if
think she doesn't strike me as a Wes Anderson or a Sofia Coppola kind of fan. So I don't think
I
she's
think
seen
that
any of
Charlie's
those.
Angels may have even been, too early, because this is 2017 and Charlie's Angels was what,
It's
2000?
2000. It was 2000. So
So if
yeah,
Tree is, let's say, 21, or be generous, say
sh-
22, then she would have been 5 when Charlie's Angels came out.
yeah, but it feels like something. it feels the most likely thing that she would have seen that you would recognize him from. Because like she might have seen Fantastic Mr. Fox when she was young, but you don't see him in that. You hear him in that. Same with Garfield. She might have seen Garfield as a child. Uh, yeah, and like he's had bit roles and things like Zombieland. She might have seen if like because I get like a maybe a horror fan vibe from her, but that could just be because this is a horror film. I don't know. Um,
Well, yeah, Carter's definitely the horror fan.
Yes, that's true of the two of them. So maybe it is believable that she doesn't know who Bill Murray is then.
Yeah.
So maybe she would have seen the 20 the year before potentially, and he's in that briefly. Um, she had says when he says Ghostbusters, she kind of shrugs. So she doesn't know who to call when the time arises. Uh,
Yeah, and this whole moment, before he gets to the Bill Murray line, is again kind of playing Carter up as the nice guy, the extra nice guy. That's he's not only offering Tree a place to stay since her room is now a crime scene, so she can't sleep in there, and he says, even though he's not as nice to Ryan because he's offering up his roommate's bed once again, but he's expecting them to sleep in, he's not expecting them to share a bed, having only known each other for since the night before. So less than 24 hours from his
yeah.
perspective.
Like Ryan strikes me as a bad roommate who has caused enough problems that he owes Carter for numerous things over the year. So yeah, Ryan deserves to sleep in his car another night. Uh, I don't know what these discretions are, but they definitely exist.
Although I do think that it ends with, a nice sweet line where Carter says, "Are you sure you want to wake up in a dorm room again?" And she says, "Only if it's yours."
That's nice. Yeah, that's good.
And we get another nice repetition of Carter returning Tree's bracelet, which I like that that's something that is, Tree, she's gone through this 12 days or 11 days, and she still hasn't remembered to grab her bracelet.
Is there? I can't remember. Do we learn any significance with the bracelet?
I
So I
don't
always
remember. I am recording this out of order, so I haven't dug into the previous two loops at time of recording. So unless it's in either of those, but I don't think that there is any movie significance to the bracelet.
okay, because I had always assumed just because of the significance, it was like a gift from her mother, or it was her mother's bracelet
Mhm.
or something. Because like he keeps on bringing it back to her every day. So if like it should have more significance, but maybe it's just to prove, hey, he's a nice guy. He brings us stuff back. It's like we get it. You don't need to show it to us again. We got it the first time. He's a nice guy. Okay.
But I do like, just kind of taking a step back, that this movie plays with the time loop tropes, and we do kind of get this meta narrative with Carter bringing up Groundhog Day, and
Hmm.
I like the fact that it plays with it with Tree not knowing Groundhog Day, which we literally just talked about how that is acceptable from the point of view of Tree's character and how old she would be. But I also think that just in general, the structure of the movie, even though it frustrated you whenever you watched it the first time, I do like that it plays with that trope that it's not the perfect day that ends the loop. It is that fake out moment, and that it plays with the audience's knowledge of Groundhog Day, thinking that the last loop was going to be the last loop, and then no, there is one more wrinkle. This isn't Groundhog Day. This is something else.
Yeah. So presumably they're going to go and watch Groundhog Day after this lunch. And do you reckon Tree's gonna find that experience rewarding? Or be like, she's gonna realize, oh, I could have had it a lot worse. He is stuck in it. I got stuck in this day 11 times. He was stuck in it for 11 lifetimes. It could have been so much worse. But then by the end of it, maybe if I was in it that long, maybe I would be a better person. I could have learned the piano. Like so much. She could have like so many regrets. Oh, if 'cause it's the being killed each time that's the problem here because the impact it has on her, which is something else that didn't really sit well with me. It's like, oh, I get it. We're not going to explain everything, but what does that when Gregory like X-rays her, and Z's like, there's stuff going on in here that you should be dead. What does that mean? Like, how? How could she have like residual st scarring from being stabbed, which she wasn't stabbed in? Like, I wanted to dig into that a bit more. I don't need it all explained. It's a horror. I get it. It doesn't. They don't need to explain it all. It's just a little my head. Like, well, what does that mean? Like, if she were to, I don't know, jump out of a plane, for instance, and be smushed on the ground, and she wakes up the next day, damage did that do? How is that affecting her internally? Because it can't be good. Uh, um, uh, but
I
yeah, if
mean,
she
she did
hadn't had
survive a
that,
car explosion.
she survives a lot of things. If she hadn't had like the eating of the poisoned cupcake, what did that do to her? Is she lactose intolerant now? Did that has that done anything? I don't know. But if it's that wrinkle. So if she didn't have the being killed each day wrinkle, then she'd be like, ah, Phil Collins had it so much better than me. I don't know, or worse. It'd be interesting to just get to interview Tree post Groundhog Day watch or like post Palm Springs watch or something. Like, what did you learn? Does this mirror your own experience of going through a time loop? Or would she like start watching it, get to like day three? He's like starting to go insane. She's like, I can't do this. This is the PTSD. I can't. This is too much. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. Time loops anonymous, time loop survivors anonymous.
It's just the same meeting every time.
Yes. And then as the scene ends, we get a few lines from this classic doo-wop song, "Since I Don't Have You" by the Skyliners from 1958, which, I kind of didn't give myself too much time to kind of dig into this. And, we only hear like one part of one stanza. So I haven't really figured out what, if any, the significance of choosing this song at this point in the movie. And the lines that we hear is, "I don't have happiness, and I guess I never will again. When you walked out of me, in walked old misery." Which that seems to me like an odd choice for a song at this point in the movie, because it feels like, it's, maybe you could kind of stretch it and say that this is about Tree accepting her mother's death from, um, however long ago it was.
Yeah, I'm looking at the full lyrics now, and it's not nothing's coming to mind as to what the significance of this would be. Sometimes directors just put in songs because they like them, is a frustrating thing when you're trying to analyze scenes in films. But yeah, I don't know. Do you? I mean, for all we know at this point, Tree's expecting to die again that night. She doesn't know that the loop is definitely over.
Yeah, and it
Mm,
is weird that, it starts with the line, "I don't have happiness, and I guess I never
yeah.
will again," even though the implication is that she is going to have happiness with Carter, because the experience of it going through this time loop has changed her, has made her a better person.
Yeah, it would make more sense for these lyrics to be from Laurie's perspective, like
Mhm.
prior to the death that she just experienced. Because she didn't have happiness, she didn't think she would again. Gregory walked out on her and chose Tree, and then walked toward Misery. That could be like her either her own misery or Toombs, the serial killer. Uh, yeah, this doesn't seem to fit at all.
Yeah,
It's
and
about
and in
yeah,
this and in this reality, Toombs is still alive.
Drew, but sedated and not
Mhm.
wearing a mask that we know of. Yeah.
And then
Hmm.
that ends this loop. Do you have anything else that you want to say about this loop or about the movie in general?
No, I mean, I've kind of covered it. I enjoyed it more this time. I think it's all well done. I just would have liked a few more jokes and like a 15 rating. Would have been nice. Like if you're doing a horror film, friggin' kill some people. Make it scary. Um, yeah, I think all the time loop aspect, which is the core of this podcast, the time loop aspect worked very well. The time loop walk of shame that we is missing from my chapter, because she nailed it all first time around, and then like that she took a pillow, she took a pillow for the guy who fainted. She figured it all out and gone. So frustrating. Um, Like it's frustrating for Tree as well because she put that effort in. She became a good person. She did things for other people. Gone. No reward for doing that. Yeah, just reiterating myself. You mentioned in a previous episode the film Heart Eyes from earlier this year, um, which is written by Christopher Landon. I really enjoyed Heart Eyes. I just wanted to add that in. It's one of my I've seen a lot of kind of smaller budget horror films this year. This is one of my favorites. It's directed by Josh Rubin, who I really enjoy. Josh Rubin as a comedian and as a director. Um, he also did Werewolves Within a few years ago, which is also very good. No time loop, but it's a kind of fun play on horror movies and werewolf movies with an excellent cast. So yeah, if any listeners out there haven't seen Heart Eyes and want to see another, that's got good horror in it, and it's a horror rom-com, and the rom-com aspect of it is also really well done. So that's got enough. Like, there's sometimes whole scenes dedicated to just a rom-com film, and you kind of think, looking at it, watching like, what? It's a horror movie? What's going? And then the horror movie comes back in, and it is great. So I know some people. I'm sure you've had Lisa Leahy on your show in the past. She hated Hard Movies, hated it because she's like, I'm going to see a horror film. Well, you give me this rom-com, whereas I went to like I'm going to see a horror rom-com, and it delivered. So
Nice.
yeah, just a little plug for Hard Eyes.
Yeah, and then yeah, we're gonna end this episode with something that I've been asking my guests this season, because this does Tree goes through her birthday 11 times. So do you have any birthday traditions?
I have one, and it makes me sound like a psychopath. I like to go for a run on my birthday. I like to get up and go for a really long run. I do the same thing on Christmas Day and on New Year's Day. It's the 3 day. I try and run like every other day, like 3 or 4 times a week when I can. Fractured my ankle this year, bad times. But it healed enough for me to go on a little run on my birthday, which is in August, and I fractured it in May. As a whole, I had like 2 months without going for a run. I went insane. Um, I'm not the healthiest of people, but I really enjoy running. And the furthest that I've managed to like run consistently is a half marathon. So if I can, I'd like to get up and just go for a half marathon run on my birthday before anyone else gets up. I hate working on my birthday. I hate it. I hate working on my birthday so much. Sometimes I have to work on my birthday. So that's just how it works sometimes. So I'll get up at like 5:30 in the morning and run a half marathon to work. Uh, See, it's a bananas thing to do, and then like I'll last year I did this. Like I normally cycle to work, so the day before I had cycled to work and then run home, which is like 5 miles, and then the next day I got up and ran 15 miles to work, like a different route, and then cycled home and went out for dinner, and it was a nice day. But yeah, I like to go for a run on my birthday as my only real tradition. Everything else changes year to year, but I like to get the run in.
Yeah,
Crazy
I'm not
person.
a big runner myself, but I come from a
Sure,
family of
why should you
runners.
be?
My dad was a big runner, and my sister was a big into track whenever she was younger. So I get it, and I didn't mind running, but I didn't like it enough to continue doing it,
Oh,
especially
I
because
yeah.
I think for me, especially like because I understand the damage it does to your body, and it's like, I get enough of that with my work. Like I expect to have knee trouble in 10 years because, uh, yeah, the the kind of stuff that I have to do for my work and involves a lot of like squatting and getting up and down. So I expect to have bad knees in another 5 to 10 years. But
Sure. I got a bad knee at the moment. We went for we had a long car journey last week where I was sat in the passenger seat for 4 hours without stopping and with like my knee in one position, and it just kind of locked. And it's been a little bit painful since then, but I still went for a run this morning, and it's kind of I'm trying to run it out, which is not the best way of doing things, but that's if I don't run, the voices start to come back, and I need to get I run away from the voices. That's
but thank you so much for joining me this season. And why don't you take a moment and let people know about your other work and where else you can be found online?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. You can mainly find me over at Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, where myself and my friend Mark Hoffmeyer, we talk about Deep Blue Sea, the trilogy, scene by scene. We've done it before, and we're doing it again. I don't know if any other podcasts that do this kind of movies by minute or chapter by chapter format have just decided, hey, let's do it again. I think we're pioneers in that sense. I'm not sure.
Well, I think
Um,
technically, Robert Black, he kind of did it because he's on his second run through of Groundhog Day because
Fair
he
enough. Well,
start,
okay.
but it's a different format because he only got like 30 minutes in, but in his last, well, I think he got like 30 minutes, like 20 or 30 minutes in the first time around, and then he restarted and got, I think, even less far, but with more episodes. And then now
Okay.
he's doing it a third time where I think he actually recorded all the minutes because he recorded them all over like 3 weeks and just doing it solo, and then he's now releasing them. But so he's
I'm
kind
gonna
of on
say
his third time.
if he didn't make it to the end those first two times, like he's gonna be covering new stuff for the first time. I don't think that counts. Uh, I don't think it counts as being fine. Fine, he's doing some of the minutes again, but not all of them. But we're not a minute by minute podcast, so we're pioneers in our own directions. So yeah, we basically we did all the three DVC films. We then did Con Air scene by scene. We got to the end of Con Air, and we're like, just kind of want to talk about DVC again. And so we did, and we are. And we're nearing like two-thirds of the way through the first film again. And we're looking forward to covering the second film and the third film again as well. Just because there's a lot to talk about in these more cheaply made films. They're a lot of fun. But we also talk about other films that are deep sea adjacent. That's any film featuring sharks, aquatic action, or directed by Rennie Harlan. And 2026, we're dedicating to reptile films. So snakes, alligators, crocodiles, that kind of thing. There is a film about Komodo dragons called Komodo. It's on the list. We're going to talk about it. So yeah, that's Deep Blue Sea hyphen the podcast, which is available where if you look for it on a podcast place and you can't find it, let us know and we'll put it there. Is our pledge. I have a personal site called Life versus Film, lifeversusfilm.com, which is where any kind of writing I do ends up over there. It's been surprisingly stuff actually happening there this year. I normally don't write a lot, but I've written like upwards of 10 things this year. Because I've watched a bunch of David Lynch blind spots and Spielberg blind spots, that sort of thing. And you can find me on Instagram at JAYCLUITT if you want to see pictures of my dogs and waterfalls, and sometimes my dogs in waterfalls. Because that's the two things that I love in the world.
And as always, you can find me. I am Bubbawheat on all social media. I am most active on Threads if you want to catch up on what I'm doing at the moment. We also have a Facebook group. It's Time to Rewind, a time loop group, and you can join that to discuss episodes as they come out or have any sort of discussion about time loops in general. It's all welcome there. I also have several other podcasts that I don't talk about that often. I have Anthological, the anthology podcast about anthology movies, which has been going through Fantasia for its first season. And when this comes out, it should be in the middle of the second season, which is covering Creepshow. And then we will be moving on to Monty Python's The Meaning of Life for
Oh
its
yeah.
third season. So it's been an interesting experience being working more behind the scenes, because on that one I only record one episode per season. So
I'm
been
thrilled that for your third season you're finally covering a good film. So looking forward to I'm not a big fan of Fantasia. Haven't seen Creepshow, to be fair. But I love Monty Python. It's a cliche, but yeah, British guy born
right.
in the 80s loves Monty Python. Shocking.
Yeah. And until next time.
You've been killing me over some stupid guy? Oh, that's not the only reason. You're a dumb